40 to 45% of the weight lost was actually from lean body mass. Because as soon as she started eating regular food again, because she didn't know what foods to eat, she would gain the weight back. There's a food you can do that, and lo and behold, there is. Novo Nordisk just came out with a pill version of their blockbuster weight loss drug, Wegovy. In this podcast, we're going to dive into our opinion about the GLP-1s, how they help you, how they harm you, and how you can actually boost your GLP-1 naturally. So let's get started.
Hello and welcome to the Lifestyle-Based Healing Podcast. I'm Dylan, your co-host, alongside my mom and other co-host, Robin.
Hi, everyone.
And today there's some news in the media that's making some ripples, and we wanted to talk about it. It's, of course, the new GLP-1 medication that's now in pill form.
Yes.
Right? I think Wegovy by Novo Nordisk is now producing not just the injectable, but also the pill form of their miracle weight loss drug.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
What I think about that, it's a good question. I don't know a lot about the pill form yet. I think it's going to open the doors up to those people that don't like the idea of injecting themselves weekly. Maybe a little bit more affordable. I haven't seen the stats yet on how effective. The initial thing I read on it was that it wasn't quite as effective as the injectable, but I'm not sure about that. It was just sort of, what you read on the generic news. Haven't dove into the research on it yet. When they first came out, though, when the GLP-1s first came out, and the big one was, all the rage was Ozempic a few years ago. And now it's spun out to, there's so many, Zepbound, and so many different ones, right? And I've worked with several clients that have come to me on these medications, using them, and they have this fear of using them and having success and then going off of them, okay? And not changing their habits. And they're really smart to be doing this. Not that they're working with me, that's a smart choice, but because they recognize that some of the issues they have around food are their habits, and they just need that little extra willpower, I think, to get them over the hump, to help them with their habits, okay? And so, it is in that realm, it's, I think, helpful for some people, but they're by far not the norm. And I think that these weight loss drugs, and what I just know a little bit about them is that they tend to fall in the category of quick fix, of rapid weight loss. They get it done fast, and then if people go off of them, the weight comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about how these drugs actually work, and maybe that will kind of help us understand how these drugs actually affect the body and our long-term health.
Okay. My understanding is the way they work, GLP-1 is actually something that our body makes naturally. That's how they discovered it. And it helps you feel satiated.
Yeah, it suppresses appetite. Right?
It suppresses appetite. So it basically keeps your food in your stomach longer, so you're not hungry and you feel full a lot. And so people then eat less. Makes sense, right? You eat less because you're full. The downside to that, and I've had several clients that have come to me with the side effects of nausea, something called gastroparesis, which is almost like this stomach paralyzation, right? That may come back, may not come back. And so there's a lot of side effects to them as well. Mm-hmm. And how I understand it is you start on a low dose and you get ramped up, okay? And so I think sometimes, you try to tolerate it and then you get ramped up to more and more. And so I don't really know. I think it's different doses for everybody, okay? Mm-hmm. The thing that I think is so interesting about this is if this is something our body naturally produces, where my mind always goes, is there a way we can actually ramp it up without doing it by injecting ourselves or taking a pill? Is there a food you can do that? And lo and behold, there is. There's leafy greens. There's something called thylakoids, the chlorophyll that makes them green, is something that actually helps your body create that same sensation. Which I think, why won't we just eat a lot of leafy greens? They're way cheaper than Ozempic or another weight loss drug. Yeah. So, but I guess those take more effort. I don't know.
So you can eat spinach, but you can also do a lot of different things to lose weight, right? And the other comparable things, because if you take this appetite suppressor, then you're going to eat less and you're going to consume less calories, right? So less calories in versus how many calories out are going, and so you lose weight. But is it the same weight loss or the same results as just doing that same low-calorie diet and starving yourself? Like, what's the difference between that and...
Yeah, so when I dove into this when it first came out, and I dove into looking at the research, because we had to wait a little bit. I mean, sadly, the early adopters were the ones that are they're really doing the research on and looking at, and it takes some time to build that research up, and it hasn't been around that long to really know long term what's going to happen. But what they were finding, and what I read about it, was that when you normally lose weight, part of you lose adipose tissue, the fat tissue, but you also lose some lean body mass. Okay, and as we age, we certainly want to hold on to that lean body mass, but it kind of ebbs and flows. But what they found is, when you lose weight on kind of just a normal cutting back, eating healthier foods, exercising, about 25% or a little bit less of the weight loss is lean body mass. What they found with Ozempic in this particular study was that 40 to 45% of the weight lost was actually from lean body mass. That's a lot. Okay.
So why is that bad?
It's so hard to hold on to your lean body mass. Okay.
That's like your muscle.
It's your muscle. Yeah. So we're talking your muscle, and so and that's why you see all this protein being promoted with the GLP-1s, like more and more protein, trying to help you hold on to that. When exercise. And when I work with clients, I'm always like, you need to be exercising. Do not give up on the exercise, because I'm wanting them to hold on to their lean body mass, right, while they're on them. But what they saw, in the research was at about a year, people would hit a plateau. All right, they would lose, 30 pounds or so. They would lose 30 pounds. And these people that typically started were in the obese category. And so they would lose weight and still be maybe in the obese category, but in a lower category of it, and then they would hit a plateau and the weight loss would stop. And at that point, you either need to stay on the medication
to hold on to your results,
to hold on what you've done, right, or you go off of it, and with the fear and risk, and very high risk actually, of regaining the weight back. And when you regain the weight back, you don't actually gain back the lean body mass. So what they found is that those people that sequence happened to, is that they actually ended up composition-wise fatter, more adipose tissue than they originally started out with. Yeah. Okay, even though they might have not had the same weight. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. It sounds like it's just like any typical weight loss approach. Or any of those stringent weight loss diets, where that's exactly what happens on starvation diets too, or even just low calorie diets. Yeah. People end up losing their lean body mass, and that gets them the short-term weight loss they want to see very rapidly. However, it costs them in the long term, because now they have less muscle tissue, their metabolism is a lot lower, so future weight gain is much more detrimental, because it's like you said, you're just going to gain back the fat part of the weight. Yeah. And now you have less metabolism by which to lose it again. Yeah. And so it seems to me like it's kind of the same sort of symptom-based approach, where people are looking to find a quick fix or something to fix the short-term problem without looking at that long-term thing, or really going to the problems that got them there in the first place.
Right. Yeah, because it really, habit change is what it really boils down to, right? When it comes to lifestyle change and really looking at all of your life. And like I said, I've worked with so many people that have lost and gained weight so many times, because they've gone on these diets, these trendy diets. And, this is a struggle they have for decades of their lives. And, when they finally end up in front of me, often it's like, I just don't want to do it anymore. I just want to, be healthy. And so this idea of focusing on health instead of just on weight loss is really the approach we like to take with our lifestyle-based healing, is because we want to create a lifestyle that brings health to a person, and weight loss is the byproduct of that. It's not the sole focus on it. And I think because what happens in that process is not just, yes, we talk about food a lot, and we mitigate that, manage that a lot, but it's a whole mindset shift. It's a whole identity shift.
Yeah, you become the healthy person that's able to keep weight off.
Yes.
Essentially, instead of just a person that's trying to lose weight.
Right. And you're tied to that number on the scale and, that sort of thing. And, like you said, even some of those very low calorie weight loss diets, you have that instant effect because you're losing water out of your muscles and you're losing muscle mass. And as soon as you start eating, your body's like, I'm going to put that water back into those muscles, and so you see a weight gain back, right? And I have a client right now that's happened. She was, and she's like, I just can't do this anymore. And so I go, well, let's just kind of start adding, and because as soon as she started eating regular food again, because she didn't know what foods to eat, she would gain the weight back, and it was very distressing. It's very distressing for people to work so hard to lose it, and then in a week see a 5-pound jump because they just started eating food again. And so, it's really a battle, and I think nothing is fast about it.
Yeah, well, drugs like this set people up for those situations.
Yes.
Like it's setting you up for just really quick weight gain right back. In fact, I think this drug sets you up for even more dramatic issues than just even traditional weight loss, quick fix stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess you could say you could take the pill and it's a lot faster and easier. It's pretty straightforward. You just automatically eat less, but it comes at even steeper risks.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's a big driving thing. That sort of, for a lot of people here in the U.S., it is fast and quick and easy is sort of
that's
how we roll.
Human nature.
It's how we roll.
Not just Americans, I think.
Yeah, and I don't blame them. But I also see the other side of it, and we don't really know long term what this is going to look like for a lot of people, and everyone's different. Here's the thing, your neighbor might be having great success with it and dropping the weight, and someone else might not. Might not see the same dramatic results, or might have her weight loss come in a different spot, or whatever. There's no uniform bit with it, right? So it's always a little risky.
So what's your verdict on it then? What would you recommend to someone coming to you just asking for advice?
Yeah, I would say I think it's so individual. It really is so individual. Of course, my approach is I focus on health first. So I would say let's look and see, can we look at ways to create a lifestyle for you that you're not depriving yourself and you are allowing yourself to eat certain foods. Because what I really worry about with the GLP-1s, if you're not hungry and you're not eating much and you're still eating some of the poor crummy food that you're used to eating only in smaller amounts, are you getting enough nutrition, right? Nutritionally balanced food. So I worry about malnutrition, honestly, and deficiencies. And so that's kind of where my mind goes with that, because there's only so much room on your plate, right? And how much room you can fit in. And I think when you're on those medications, you need to be very strategic of what you're putting in so that you don't run into that risk of having any sort of side effects. So that would be my advice. If you're going to do it, be smart about it. And if you're on the fence about it, work with somebody. Have them help you create a lifestyle for health that will also get you to your goal of weight loss, because they're not mutually exclusive.
Yeah, so it sounds like if someone's coming to you and they just want to take the drug and not change their greater habits or broader patterns of
eating, they shouldn't come to me.
Then you would say probably not. You're probably not in the right mind space for it. If you are going to do it, you'd be really careful to make sure you're also working on the other things too. Yeah. Just like with any weight loss approach, it has its risks, so you want to be making sure you're covering those bases. I'd also add to that, like making sure that you are very intentionally trying to maintain your muscle mass.
Absolutely.
Because we know it's even more dramatic lean body mass loss than even like a traditional weight loss calorie deprivation.
And what I want to add to that is, and that doesn't mean adding a protein powder.
It means exercise.
It means, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think that this is why you see so much protein in the media right now. And I start seeing, I was wheeling down the grocery aisle the other day, and stewed tomato, diced tomatoes said GLP-1 friendly. I'm like, what the heck does that even mean, right? And I realized, oh, there is all marketing. So they're bombarding these people that are on these drugs. Yes, definitely eat diced tomatoes, right? Yeah. Not because you're on the GLP-1s, just because they taste good. But that's the same thing with protein. They're pumping it down, and that's not going to get you where you want to be. You need to be working your muscles. You need to be exercising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's just no quick fix.
There's no quick fix.
No way around it. You got to do the work. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. Well, that's fun in the news as well. Thanks for watching this one, guys. If you found this content helpful, make sure to like and subscribe. That way you see future videos and other people are promoted the content as well. And then if you want more from us, you can go to therevitalizecenter.com. You can find coursework, newsletters for free, some other free materials. And of course, that's also where we publish our other stuff. So make sure you go check that out. Otherwise, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye, everyone.